All right, so are you ready to really, dive deep today?
Yeah.
Because we are going headfirst into a scandal that's rocking the music industry. Like, seriously rocking it.
Oh.
We're talking accusations so big, so serious, they could change, like, everything for some of the biggest names in music.
It's crazy, right? Like 1 minute it's whispers and rumors, and the next, bam, it's front page news everywhere you look. Makes you wonder what else is going on that we don't even know about yet.
No kidding. And, well, what we're looking at today, where this all started, is this explosive article from Italy. It's titled, and I'll try to say this right, Testo Incolato.
Yeah, glued text if you're
Yeah.
translating.
Right, glued text. But the real attention grabber, the title of the article, Puff Daddy. The biggest music industry scandal ever. I mean, talk about setting the stage.
No subtlety there. They're going straight for the jugular with this one. It's like they're inviting us to dive into this dark world of power, influence, the music industry, all of it.
And we're diving in head first, right? So the article, it doesn't waste any time. It jumps right in, saying Puff Daddy was arrested on September 16th.
Yeah.
And okay, I'll be honest, this isn't exactly his first run-in with the law, right? But this time, it feels different. We're talking sexual assault, physical violence, even psychological abuse. This isn't just a slap on the wrist kind of thing.
And it's not just one accusation either. The sheer number of people coming forward, telling their stories, it's really starting to paint a very disturbing picture, a pattern of behavior that's been going on for, well, who knows how long.
Yeah, and the article goes into some pretty specific details about these parties he allegedly threw called freak-offs. And, I mean, some of the stuff they describe, potential drugging of women, hidden cameras in his homes, even a network of exploitation. It's unsettling, to say the least.
Absolutely. And it makes you wonder, like, how does something like this go on for so long? Who else knew about it? Was there pressure to stay quiet? A lot of questions there.
A lot of questions, and here's another one. The article says Puff Daddy offered a $50 million bail. $50 million. And they said no. They basically said, nope, you're a flight risk, you're staying put. I mean, that speaks volumes, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. It tells you that the authorities aren't messing around, and they're taking these accusations very seriously, which means they probably have some pretty strong evidence against him. But to really understand the gravity of what's going on here, I think we need to look at the stories of those who were directly affected. And the article, it does share some pretty harrowing accounts, especially from Cassie Ventura, Puff Daddy's ex-girlfriend.
Cassie Ventura. Wow, okay, yeah. I now remember her music, but what does the article say about her experience?
So she's alleging years of horrific abuse. She's even claiming she suffered brain damage from it. Ventura talks about being forced into sexual acts, even having to escape from a hotel room where he was allegedly assaulting her. It's terrifying to even think about.
That is awful. I mean, that's just awful. And it's not like it's just her word against his, right?
Yeah.
The article mentions that CNN video from back in 2016, the one where you can allegedly see Puff Daddy kicking Ventura in a hotel hallway.
Right, that video. Yeah, that could be a key piece of evidence. If it's as damning as they say, it could really support Ventura's claims and shut down anyone trying to brush this off as just rumors and hearsay.
It's chilling to think about. And the article goes on, it says that when authorities raided Puff Daddy's properties, like his homes in Los Angeles and Miami, they actually found videos allegedly showing other really famous people, A-listers, at these parties.
Yeah, that's where things get really interesting and kind of messy, right? Because now you have to wonder, what was their involvement? Were they aware of what was happening? Did they participate? Or were they just there?
We need to be careful here, though, because right now, these are just allegations and everyone is innocent until proven guilty.
For sure. For sure. But still, you have to admit, seeing names like Paris Hilton and Leonardo DiCaprio connected to all of this makes you think, right? It suggests this wasn't just some small-time thing. This was happening at the highest levels of celebrity. And then, and this is where it gets even weirder, they said they found baby oil and illegal firearms in his homes. Baby oil and guns. I know, right? It's like they're painting this picture of a lifestyle that's as disturbing as it is excessive. An environment where silence and fear might have been used as tools to keep people quiet. It's really no wonder it took so long for those accusations to come out.
You're telling me. It's a lot to process. But, and just when you think it can't get any crazier, the article brings up, wait for it, Justin Bieber.
Oh boy, yeah. Here's where it takes another sharp turn. The article doesn't actually accuse Bieber of anything directly. It more just highlights their connection, especially with that old video of them together resurfacing.
The one where Puff Daddy is promising a teenage Justin Bieber the world. The Ferrari, the mansion, the whole 9 yards. He even said something like, what we do in the next 48 hours can't be divulged. Come on, that's creepy enough on its own, but knowing everything else we know now,
It definitely hits different, doesn't it? The timing of that video resurfacing alongside all these allegations. Well, some people are saying it makes Puff Daddy's behavior in that video seem predatory, especially considering Bieber's age at the time.
and then there's that other video from 2021, I think, where Puff Daddy gives Bieber this long hug and then seems to check his chest like he's feeling for a hidden microphone or something.
People are analyzing everything now, looking for clues, trying to figure out what really went on between them. It just goes to show how every little detail is being scrutinized under this new, very harsh light.
It's like we're trying to put together this giant messed up puzzle, and every new piece we find is more disturbing than the last. And this puzzle is far from over.
Oh, definitely not. But one thing's for sure. The music industry, as we know it, it's probably over. The New York Times even called this whole thing the #MeToo of the music industry. And with accusations this big, this widespread, it's hard to imagine anyone involved coming out of this unscathed.
Yeah, this is way bigger than just celebrity gossip.
Yeah.
We're talking about power, the abuse of power, and the systems that allow it to happen.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder how many other stories like this are out there just waiting to be heard? How many people have suffered in silence?
That's the question that lingers, isn't it? And it's a question we need to keep asking. Because this case, it's not just about Puff Daddy. It's about shining a light on the dark side of the music industry, on the power dynamics that exist everywhere, and asking ourselves, what are we going to do about it?
You know, it's like the more we dig into this Puff Daddy thing, the more you realize it's not just about him, right? It's like this whole system, this whole culture that might have allowed this to happen in the first place.
Oh, absolutely. It's about power, right?
Yeah.
Who has it, who doesn't, and how that plays out in an industry like music, and what happens when someone abuses that power. The accusations against Puff Daddy, they really force us to confront that, to have those tough conversations about what we've accepted for so long.
Right. And the article, it talks about how Puff Daddy wasn't just like some guy in the music industry. He was the guy. Like he could make or break your career with a single phone call.
Exactly. He had that kingmaker reputation.
Yeah.
And that kind of power, it can be intoxicating. And for the people around him, well, it might have felt like there were just too many risks to speak out. Who wants to risk their career, their relationships, maybe even their safety to go up against someone like that?
It's that classic power imbalance, right? The kind
Yeah.
we've seen play out time and time again, not just in music, but in Hollywood, in politics, everywhere. And it often comes down to who are you going to believe, the person with all the power or the person who's accusing them?
And that's why this case, it could be a real turning point. The article, it doesn't hold back. It calls this the biggest music industry scandal ever. And honestly, it's hard to disagree. The accusations, the number of people involved, the potential evidence, it's huge, unprecedented, really.
So, okay, what happens now? Do you think this is going to actually change things? Like, will we see a real shift in the music industry, how it operates, how it protects people, or not?
That's the million-dollar question, right? The article seems to suggest we might see a domino effect. Like maybe now that these accusations are out there, more people will feel empowered to come forward, not just about Puff Daddy, but about other abuses in the industry. It's like opening a can of worms. Once you start looking, you might not like what you find.
Sunlight, the best disinfectant, right?
Oh, boy.
Like, maybe this whole thing will force the music industry to clean up its act, to finally address the dark side that's been hidden for so long.
Right, because they can't ignore this. It's too big. The article even talks about the potential legal fallout. Like, what about the record labels? Were they aware of any of this? Could they be held accountable for enabling Puff Daddy, or at the very least looking the other way?
It's like everyone's implicated, right? It's not just about the celebrities, it's about the whole system. And we're all a part of that system in a way, right? As fans, as consumers of music.
Exactly. And I think that's something we need to be more aware of. We can't just blindly support artists without considering their actions off stage. We have a responsibility too.
To be more conscious of who we support, what we're willing to accept.
Exactly. The article really drives that point home. We have the power to hold these powerful figures accountable. We can choose to support artists who actually align with our values, who treat people with respect, and who use their platforms for good.
Demanding more, not just from the music they create, but from the people behind it. And, you know, this whole situation with Justin Bieber, it really brings up that other side of this, the potential dangers of fame at a young age.
Yeah, the article doesn't directly accuse Bieber of anything, but it does make you think about his relationship with Puff Daddy, especially after watching that old video. Just feels different now, doesn't it?
Totally different. It's like you can't unsee it now.
And imagine being Bieber right now. He's been trying to rebuild his image, and then this hits. People are looking at everything he does, every interaction he's ever had with Puff Daddy, under a microscope.
Talk about bad timing.
Huh.
But it's also like a reminder, right? In the digital age, nothing ever really goes away.
Nope. It's all out there. And it makes you wonder how many young stars have gotten caught up in situations like this, pushed into the spotlight, maybe manipulated, exploited. It's a dark side of the industry that doesn't get talked about enough.
And it's a story we hear over and over again, right?
Mm.
Not just in music, but in Hollywood, in sports. It's like a cautionary tale. Fame, especially at a young age, it comes with a price.
Definitely. And this conversation, it needs to go beyond just talking about it, right? We need action. How do we create a safer environment for young artists? How do we give them the tools to protect themselves, to speak out, to get help if they need it? These are the questions we should be asking.
Big questions, important questions. And I got to be honest, I don't have the answers, but it does feel like we're at a turning point. The music industry, it can't just keep doing business as usual, can it?
I don't think so. It's a choice, right? Stick with the old ways, protect the powerful, silence the victims, or choose a new path. A path that's built on transparency, accountability, and respect. It's time for a change.
I like the sound of that. And you know what? As we're talking about the fallout in the music industry, it makes
Yeah.
me think, what if this isn't just limited to music?
What do you mean?
Well, we know Puff Daddy's got his fingers in a lot of pies, right? Hollywood, fashion.
Hmm.
And the article mentions some pretty big names from the movie industry allegedly being at these parties. What if this whole thing blows up even bigger, exposes a network that reaches far beyond music?
No, that's a chilling thought. But, it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility. We've seen it before. The hashtag Me Too movement. It started in Hollywood, but it quickly spread to other industries, exposing a culture of abuse and silence that was everywhere.
Exactly. What if this is the music industry's hashtag Me Too moment? What if this sparks a wave of change, not just in how we think about the music industry, but how we address power and abuse in all aspects of our culture? It's crazy, right? We've been talking about this Puff Daddy thing for a while now, and I still feel like we've only scratched the surface. It's like we've opened this door into this dark, kind of secret side of the music industry.
It really makes you think. What started with these accusations in that Italian article has blown up into something much, much bigger. It's not just about Puff Daddy anymore, is it? It's about the system, the culture that allowed this kind of behavior to go unchecked for so long.
Yeah, and this whole deep dive, I mean, we've covered some really heavy stuff. Those initial accusations, the potential consequences for Puff Daddy, for the music industry. And this isn't just like entertainment news,
Mm-hmm.
right? We're talking about serious criminal allegations,
Mm-hmm.
real people who've come forward with some very serious accusations.
And the legal stuff is just beginning. This article, it hints at what might be coming. Lawsuits, investigations into who knew what and when, maybe even charges against other people who might be involved. This could go way beyond Puff Daddy.
It's a lot,
Yeah.
and it makes you think, what can we even do about any of this? As fans, as people who love music, do we have a responsibility to do more than just listen?
I think so. Silence protects abusers, always. We need to be more discerning about who we support, question what we see and hear, be more willing to believe those who have the courage to speak out, even when it's hard.
That's powerful because it's easy to feel overwhelmed by all of
Yeah.
this, like it's so much bigger than us. But you're right, every voice matters.
They really do. And this whole scandal, as horrible as it is, maybe, just maybe, it can be the push we need to make real, lasting change. But we have to demand it.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you all with this. Next time you're listening to your favorite song, next time you're scrolling through social media, take a moment. Think about the story behind the music, the people behind the posts. Think about the power dynamics at play, and ask yourself, what kind of world do I want to be a part of? Because your voice, your choices, they matter more than you think. That's it for us this week. We'll be back next time with another deep dive.